Hello, this is John Miller, the creator of The Rest of Everest. I think I can safely say that this show is, without a doubt, the most in-depth look into the entire experience of what it takes to climb Everest, as well as some other peaks throughout the Himalayas. But all of the events in this series are shown in chronological order, so if you're new to the show, please go all the way back to episode 000 and watch everything in order. That's truly the best way to enjoy it. Thanks.
This is the Rest of Everest video podcast, an almost unabridged expedition experience. Episode 187, Concordia.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to The Rest of Everest. I'm John Miller, joined, as always, on this Season 6 K2 Broad Peak expedition with Brian Block. How you doing, Brian?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing well. As you can tell, Brian's on the phone. He is on the road, and Skype's just not working, so we're reverting back to the phone. No problem, though. This week, we are going to visit the beautiful camp at Concordia, which is the confluence point between two glaciers. Is that right, Brian?
That's exactly correct.
Okay.
And the first chance to actually see K2.
Yeah, beautiful views of K2 and of Broad Peak this week. And just a quick refresher, K2 is the second highest mountain on the planet at 8,611 meters, or 28,251 feet, while Broad Peak is the 12th highest mountain at 8,051 meters, or 26,414 feet. So let's head back up to Baltoro and let's get on our way towards Concordia. So here we go.
So this is the hike from Door 2 to Concordia. You can see it goes up over the ridge. Surrounded by some beautiful views, including Rob and Chris, I guess. Hola! ¿Cómo estás? Bien, bien.
It's nice getting to know Rob and Chris a little bit through these episodes now.
Okay, so
they're great fun on the
we have
trip.
Broad Peak, and on the left side, there's actually three summits. We can't see the other one. We have the col in between those two summits. So about a third of the way down from that col, on the snow face is where our Camp 4 will be, slightly over to the right by the rock face. And then our Camp 3 will be almost just out of sight, where we just almost goes behind this peak here. So on summit day, we'll go from Camp 4 up to the col at about 7750 or 78, and then we'll climb the ridge rather, up to the rocky summit, which is at about 8,000 meters. And then from there, you'll see the spindrift coming off the top. We do a traverse of about 800 horizontal meters and a gain of only about 35, 36 meters.
Long
to
traverse.
the true summit, which is pretty much right where the spindrift dissipates. So hopefully we can pull that off. It's a long ways away.
Cool.
And that broad traverse is
Part of the
the
hike
reason
in
behind the name of Broad
from
Peak, right?
Goro 2
Absolutely.
to Concordia Base Camp.
It's got a very long, flat
My
summit.
friend Rob, Australian team member. He's going to come on into camp.
Good to go. Actually, a lot of snow for this time of year. And when we hike back out, this is all rock and exposed glacier.
Oh, really? I haven't gotten that far.
And the terrain is just incredible how much it undulates just in one season. I actually enjoyed having the snow. It was actually still quite warm. We're up over 14,000 feet at this point, and you just kind of feel the sun beating down on you. But of course, now's the time to put the sunscreen up the nose.
Oh, yeah.
Get cooked off that reflection.
It's pretty auspicious. We're getting our first glimpse of K2 as well.
This is where it actually starts to get exciting.
Lots of snow here. Lots more than when I was here in 2007 for sure. This little trough of a track is a bit challenging as the porters take really short steps. So you got to take really short steps or plunge in. So it's a bit challenging on occasion. There she is.
It's all the different aspects of the expedition that you don't get in the movies.
No, it's definitely not as glamorous as the movie cut usually. It's a lot of hard work and grinding it out to get to the objectives and to actually get to the fun.
What say you, Rob?
Beautiful day here in Concordia.
Hells yeah. Porters making their way. And I'm going to give you the first glimpse of the big one. Ciao.
Mount Everest over there.
It's Mount Everest over there, I like that.
K2 and Broad Peak. And here we are, coming into base camp.
There's the Gasherbrum.
Pretty all right little camp here at Concordia, I'd say. Don't you think?
So there's 4 8,000 meter peaks right around camp, right?
Yeah,
What say you, other team members?
yeah, within a couple miles of each other.
It is, isn't it?
You got a big mountains there?
Yeah. Finally getting to see the K2, baby. Are you doing K2 as well, Megan?
That's what I came here for.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It was real interesting as we were sitting in these plastic chairs. Periodically, one of us would just fall over as it would just collapse into the snow that was
It would just post
12
hole.
feet deep. Yeah, it was. It was like you'd be totally
good at
fine,
this
totally
painting
fine,
thing.
totally fine on your back.
I'm trying to be really smooth.
Yeah, you usually need to spend more than $40 on a tripod to get it good.
There's been a lot of
Well, if I'd have spent $40, I'd be upset.
fine climbers that have come to this point in the trek and turned the corner and looked at K2 full on and turned around and went home. Highly recommend it. If nothing else, just trekking in to see it. It's an amazing mountain.
But look at that. It's level. Hello. It's kind of an auspicious view behind you, too. That's pretty
What
cool.
kind of vertical gain do you have to achieve from? Well, this is not K2 base camp. K2 base camp's further
No.
up the valley. But
Yep.
what's the elevation gain from base camp?
Base camp at K2 is about 15.7.
This
So,
is
you know,
to
up to
demonstrate the
28
speed in
plus.
which the
Wow.
cook
That's
tank goes up. It's
really
quite
incredible.
impressive. I think they've got it down to a bit
Yeah,
of a
and there's
science
no
nowadays.
easy way up it, and
Of course, Mike
there's
and,
no like
Ben will give
totally
play-by-play.
safe area other than a couple of ridge spots along the
You
way.
can just be color. Mike does great play-by-play.
Heck, that's a lot of pressure. Somewhat
It's neat to see everybody get their systems down, as you're going along and be into camp early enough. This is actually at the confluence there. We actually moved up another mile or so and got right underneath the ice fall on Broad Peak for our main base camp there. And then, once we completed that, we moved the base camp up. Some people did an in-between camp where they were climbing on Broad and then didn't want to have to move the camp up to K2 base camp. But for us, it was just really almost a two-part climb, breaking it into, the Broad Peak particular, and then, part of the team left. And then the rest of us moved up to establish a new K2 base camp.
Yeah, so you were saying you were going to have 19 total people on your group.
Yep.
How many were actually going to be carrying on to K2?
Mountains out.
I think there was 9 of us
Okay.
that moved up there, and most people only stayed for an extra week and a half and realized the seriousness,
Mm-hmm.
I think, of the situation, and kind of moved along.
It really is a beautiful mountain.
It is gorgeous, and very seldom so not enshrouded by clouds. So this was kind of unusual in and of itself. First day getting to see it that clearly. Probably would have been a great summit day actually, because you can't even see any wind blowing, spindrift off the summit, which is really unusual.
So are you to the south of the peak here?
Yeah, I think southwest just a little bit.
I can hear all kinds of photos being taken. You guys really sounds like you're really enjoying the view.
Well, that's what I came out of the tent. We were just getting out of the sun a bit, and I said, "You guys aren't going to believe this. K2 is out fully. You got to come out and get some photos because this just isn't a regular occurrence. I mean, to see not a cloud or even a wisp of one anywhere around it. I was tempted to hike further up the valley just to get some more shots, but we got lucky on this trip, and you'll see later that there was some other good opportunities to see it in its glory. But we were just really excited, and the people who hadn't been there which was the majority. I think only 2 of us had been up this valley as part of the team prior. And yeah, they were pretty excited, but didn't even, I think, realize at the time just how lucky they were to have this view and vantage point.
It's been a long time coming, feels like. 3 whole years since I've been here last. Sure is pretty, though. Let's see if I can give you an idea what the route looks like. Zoom it right in. Actually goes up into that ice fall.
This is the Chesin or Southeast Spur route.
Goes up underneath the Serac.
Yeah, you climb directly into that giant hanging Serac.
Wow.
Yeah. Have some pretty sweet
That's the big
avalanche
Serac.
photos from
You're
years
right
prior.
here on the right side of it. And then you move
Stuff that you don't
to
want
the
the
right of
vantage point
that,
to get.
up through that rock band to Camp 3, which is right there at that little cleft, and then up over that onto the saddle. From there, up the bottleneck to the summit pyramid.
Easy.
Yeah,
Pretty cool.
just a couple days of hiking, really.
Pretty bumpy with this loose tripod, but
Yeah, when you break it down like that, no big deal.
Yeah, you know, hey.
But when you're on K2, it's nothing like Everest. I mean, there are
Yep, be
very
there
few people on it
in
all
30
at once,
days or
right?
less.
Yeah. When we were there in 2007, I think there was a total of 100 people at the
Wow.
base, and that I think included cooks and everybody else. And there was a
Great.
large Russian contingent there as well.
So yes, I'm shooting some extra video because this is Broad Peak. This is actually where we're going first. Thought I better get a little bit of action in there. Apparently you can see just a portion of the route. A little better view actually earlier today that I shot with the other camera, but
And this year, I think there was a total of 55, 60 of us at base camp.
Broad Peak's just a hulking mass. It's just huge.
It is huge. It is huge. There was a vast team that was there at the same time that was attempting and did do a full traverse, climbing from the far side down closer to K2 base camp and then traverse the entire summit ridge, which was incredibly impressive.
summit proper there on the right. Can't really see it, but that's where it is up in there. The main call we switched from by the rocks there on the left. Camp 3 and 4 as I'm told. Should be lots of fun. This is the approach to base camp. Goes over a bit of a narrow gap over the really beautiful little river crevasse essentially.
So this is the next day, and so
Yeah,
you guys
next
actually did not stage your climb from the camp you were just at. You actually did make a base camp.
Yeah, we moved up further and a little closer to our advanced base camp.
Coming into base camp.
So it was really only another, there's K2 again, really only another mile or so up the road. But a couple hundred vertical feet up as well, so we end up, 15,000 foot range.
The 360 panoramic.
Alright.
Yeah. So, yeah, coming into base camp, excited about that for sure. Finally get to set up everything, make it a little bit more homey, get it all my stuff.
There's a lot of that.
There's a lot of that. I brought a lot of stuff, so plan to be to hit a base camp, get into that bottle of scotch I've been waiting for. So yeah, excited.
It's all about priorities.
Well, there has to be some luxury, however small it may be.
I've never known it this bad. I don't know what the f it is.
That's something.
I'm quite worried for it.
It's just so flat in the valley there.
What
wasn't super bad.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. I mean, later in the season, as everything melts out, there's a river that runs through this, and like I said,
you were
there's
good.
unusually high snow.
Like at the hotel? It was just after the hotel it all went wrong. Yeah.
My wife just loves
Almost to
that
base
sun
camp. Beautiful day. Really enjoying it. Good conversation. I think that's been the best part of the trip so far for me is like, you know, I've been on other trips, but yeah, you just about everybody here has cool stories.
Yeah.
And has like a different background, so you can be
group, isn't it? Really
yeah,
good, actually.
it's very cool, I think.
Everyone's just like, yeah, like doing this shit. And Mike's a classic as well.
Oh man, he cracks me up.
He comes out with some weird stuff, doesn't he?
Whole line of porters coming up, which is pretty cool. This is actually what I was kind of waiting for. I've never been on the Baltoro with this much snow here, but to see all the porters, there's just lines of them down there.
So cool.
When I went out for one of my many toilet breaks last night, I just had a bit of a look around, and it was just, you know,
Just dots on the horizon.
being on the moon.
Kind of gives you a sense of scale.
Yeah.
And that's all Glacier, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we've been on Glacier for 5-6 days.
Yeah, when I say the bottom of the valley, I don't mean ground. It's it's
Oh,
moving
yeah,
ice.
yeah. When it melts out later in the season, it looks more like this, just a lot of rock. Finally into base camp, yay!
Base camp.
And we were hoping to do a big time lapse of this, but unfortunately, I believe the camera battery died. So we only get a bit
Yes, they did.
only get a
I
bit
had
of
the
you.
big aspiration.
Yeah, but you had to clear
Yeah.
all your own spots. This is
Oh,
one more difference between a typical Everest experience, where for
Yeah.
most of the climbers, it would all have been cleared for you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you put in your own tent. You do all the work. I mean, it took about 2.5 hours, I think, to put the tent site in.
Out. Welcome to the Pleasure Palace, as it has been dubbed. This is my marmot, Thor 4-person. Has everything in it you could possibly imagine. Sat phones, DVD players, lanterns, iPods.
Was that my sat phone?
3 big panels hanging out right
I
now,
think it was,
charging it
actually.
all. Apparently, in order to get the began to work, I need to go down the valley in order to get reception. But this is good, because now I'm going from the memory card. I thought I was going from the memory card before, but apparently that's a different configuration within the system. So, keep on shooting. Shoot lots of video. That's what the word was. Shoot a lot. So, just hanging out. You know, we're here at base camp finally, taking a rest day. My face looks puffy in the thing. Yeah, we're just taking a rest day. Gonna work on tent platforms, get some other stuff going. Heat of the day has already started at 9:45. I'm, could be in just a pair of shorts, really. It's so warm in the tent. Had a couple of big slides come down last night that we heard. Didn't really catch any of the evidence today, so it might have been just a valley over, or it could have been a big, slough that, already had tracks. But, had a couple of guys say that the weather's coming in, so tomorrow it's supposed to be crap, and the next day as well.
Don't worry, people. We get numerous
It should be
avalanches on
interesting.
video.
We're looking forward to actually getting on the mountain. Tomorrow we'll do a little bit of rope work and finish up some of the tent platforms for some of the other group that's coming in. Yeah, what else can I tell you? It's good to be here, good to be able to open up all the bags rather than just the one trekking bag and see what we've got and, start utilizing some of the things that we brought and to find all the great food, especially and most importantly, the beef jerky that Seth made me. Wow. I shared some with Rob, who is a assistant guide guy that's on the trip, and I told him, I said, I don't know if I can give you any because it's hard for me to stop, much less anyone else. So, but it's proven its worth, and glad to have carried it in 3 bags that he was kind enough to make me. Thanks again, Seth. Yeah, what else is going on? Not too much. I've had intermittent sat reception with the phone, trying to talk to the wife and catch up, see what's going on. But I think that's more at her end. She's up in weird Minnesota and Cambridge area. So, not too much to tell as far as that's concerned. And
yeah, just trying to lay a little bit low today, drink a lot of water, get hydrated. Just checked my pulse rate on the pulse oximeter and everything else. Got a low pulse, 70. For being at 16,000 feet is pretty good.
It's
and
very good.
My blood saturation level is at the same level it is at home. So acclimatizing well, feeling great. Just kind of hurry up and wait again, which is always hard, especially when it's just pure blue skies out there. So yeah, but the rest of the team will be here in a couple of days. We're going to work on wiring the base camp tent so we can power things and maybe even have like a movie night with the DVD players and stuff, which will be fun. But yeah, that's about it for now. I guess I'll shoot some more video from outside later.
So did you guys bring a generator with you?
No, we didn't. Some expeditions do, which is very interesting to see them drag that in. The porter that has to carry that, I always feel bad for. But no, we just do solar panels and try and cycle everything up when we can. And even just the ambient light that we get on cloudy days is enough usually to power iPods and recharge AA batteries for everything else.
Did you have a car battery or something to charge during the day?
They did bring one of those in for part of the base camp stuff, but I didn't ever have to use it because I actually had my stuff all set up with all the Goal Zero panels and everything.
Nice. All right. Well, next week, actually start getting on the mountain. Start wanding the route, and you'll see some people fixing lines in the distance. And then we do part 1 of a 2-part lesson, little tutorial for ascending and descending lines. So we go into some detail, which is kind of cool, especially the episode following next week's episode. Go into a lot of detail about just what the techniques behind actually using your ascenders on some, I believe it's 6mm line, and just going through some protocol. So it's some good behind the scenes stuff as to, it's not you just get on the mountain and climb. There's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of knowledge and a lot of technical skills you need. And so we'll start going through that next week. So Brian, with your busy schedule, thanks for making time for recording this. I really appreciate it.
No, it's great. I appreciate it. It's fun to revisit and kind of look at some of these things again.
All right. Well, we'll be back next week. See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
The Rest of Everest has been watched millions and millions of times all over the world since 2006, and it's all been free, but it's not free for me. If you're a fan, then let me know. You can like The Rest of Everest on Facebook, write a review on iTunes, subscribe on YouTube, or even help me pay the bills with a financial donation. It doesn't take much, and quite literally, your donations make this show possible. They honestly pay for everything. You can make a one-time donation or set up a monthly contribution through my website. Help me out, and I'll give you a download of our film Everest: The Other Side, as well as some other goodies. Thanks as always to our announcer Marlon May from marlonmay.com, and to Wendy Wu for providing the show's theme song. Find her on iTunes or at wendywoo.com.
Thank you for watching The Rest of Everest. For more information about the show and upcoming expeditions, be sure to visit therestofeverest.com.